A very warm welcome, everybody, and welcome to this Destiny Chat Show, episode number 4. We are live every Sunday at 9:30 for the Destiny Chat Show, where we discuss complex issues casually. So, I'd like to bring along Dr. Sam, and Dr. Sam K. Pillai is the founder of Destiny Drivers. He's the director of the Science of Destiny Institute and also the Soul Prosperity Teacher. You know, uh, so let's waiting for Sam to join in, and let me, in the meantime, also introduce Pranali Nayak, who we have as a guest. And Pranali is a reality creation coach, and she will be joining us shortly. So we are going to be continuing from where we left off last time. And last time we had a discussion about, yeah, we had a discussion about potential. So here we have Dr. Sam K. Pillai joining us, the soul prosperity teacher. A very warm welcome, Sam.
Thank you. It is such a joy to join each one of you this wonderful evening. Thank you.
Fabulous. Lovely. So, Sam, last time we had a discussion about potential, and we
Mhm.
really missed having you and your inputs on what, according to you, is potential and, any pearls of wisdom that you'd like to share with us about awesome,
I
about
love that.
potential. Yeah.
I love that. And
Yes,
meanwhile, we also have Pranali joining. So, welcome, Pranali.
yes. Thank
Welcome,
you.
Pranali.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Divya. Thank you. Amazing. Once again. Thank you so much.
Brilliant. So, Pranali, I was
Wonderful.
just telling Dr. Sam that last week we missed him and we had this discussion
Absolutely.
about potential. And this time we'd love to hear from him about his thoughts on potential.
Yes. Eagerly waiting, Sam.
I
Definitely.
love that. I love that. So, thank you very, very much. Thank you for your warm welcome. And here is the key: the word potential, okay, is very commonly used by many people, but not really understanding its very core. Okay. So I have a question for you before I explain this whole thing.
Sure.
Okay. We all work based on communities. We have our own communities. Okay. So, what is your take on a community? What do you think a community is?
Okay. Is
Divya,
that
come on,
is
share
that
your thought.
question directed? Okay, awesome. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for that question. And I love that question for two reasons. One is I personally, in fact, community is one of the values that I hold very close for my
Hmm.
community as well as personally. I think that human beings are designed to function as communities and are designed to function with interdependence rather than independently, right?
Hmm.
We do our best when we are working along with other people, when we are collaborating, when we are helping each other grow. And in fact, I'm sure each of us have had the experience that when we are doing something for the other with the intention to help them succeed, with the intention to help them do their best, we are doing our best, right? So for me, community means.
Absolutely. That's very beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. So community is a group of people who come together and in the process of coming together, leverage each other's strengths to create something which would not have been possible to exist with just one person in the scenario.
I love that. Beautiful. Come on,
Wonderful.
Pranali, share your
Wonderful.
thoughts.
Yeah, I totally agree with Divya. And what community for me is like, I feel this is something really basic to human beings. Like, it's like connection and the need for belonging is, we never want to live alone or something like that. So that comes around community. And when it's also your own reflection. I mean, your community is your reflection basically. Like most of the times you connect with the people who are like minded, that kind of thing. For me, community is like that, what I feel.
Wonderful, wonderful. Which means it's technically a human need, right? And a human functions better with a community, right?
Community.
Well, so would you disagree with me if I tell you, okay, a human being himself is a community? You are
Wow.
a community. I
Yes.
am a community.
Amazing.
Yes.
Each one who exists here on earth is a community. He
Wow.
is a community, or she is a community of 50 trillion cells, 50
Absolutely.
trillion beings, which live on their own intelligence,
Amazing.
put
Beautiful.
together as one, which means each human being is a potential gathering of 50 trillion potential at the same time.
Wow.
True. True. So true. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is exactly what potential is possible. And this is the law. The law is we live, move, and have our being in the great intelligence. I repeat this again. We live, move, and have our being in the divine. To explain it better, every cell in our body lives, moves, and has its existence in us.
Yes. Yes.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So when you see that law that we live, move, and have our being in Him or the divine, it just simply indicates that just as we exist, as much as our existence is true, we exist in the divine space. Last week, Pranali was sharing about divine timing and divine dimensions, or a different dimension. Okay. So, all these come together in just simple understanding that yes, each one of us have not one potential. You are a accumulation of 50 trillion potential.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the
True.
beauty of potential
Wonderful.
is that we all think, oh, I can do this, I cannot do this, I tried, but I just didn't, I didn't make it, I can't. Okay. If you're used to this word I can and I cannot, okay, potential is not about can or cannot. Potential is not about what you can. Potential is all about what you should.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Because what you can is a possibility. What you should is potential on purpose.
Lovely.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, when you see yourself as a potential, because every single person hearing this is a potential. Okay. A potential made out of 50 trillion potentials together. Not to say that I can, but I should, because I am not living my possibility, I am living my purpose. The two big difference. We are not designed to live our possibility. That is why this word potential is very important. We are designed to live our purpose.
Lovely.
Okay? So
Mm.
this one word potential is beautiful, and as we go forward we will explain it. So just share your thoughts you know as it is right now, as you receive it, Divya.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sam. And before I share my thoughts on this, I just wanted to say that we are missing Rutu Amalyar, the holistic declutter coach, and we are hoping that she'd be able to join us. There seems to be a little bit of a storm in the area that she is in, right? But she may join us, so I'm looking forward to having her if she's able to join us, right? And coming back to, I think Sam, when you shared about potential and when you spoke about the 50 billion cells, you just broke all the shackles and expanded the possibility a billion times over. Right? That's the
I love
first
that.
thought that came to me. And you spoke about we are not supposed to live our possibility, but we are supposed to live our potential, and has really evoked a lot of questions in my mind. But I'm not sure if this is the right time to ask those questions.
You could always throw out a question because, there is a reason why I said what I said, is because if we understand this word potential, that all those 50 trillion cells live, move, and have our being in us,
Hmm,
it is very easy for us
hmm.
to relate how we relate with different dimensions of life, with the divine, because we live, move, and have our being in the divine, just as every cell lives, moves, and has its being in us.
Wow.
Which means the collective potential of those 50 trillion cells is my potential. The collective potential of every person existing is the excellence of the divine.
Wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I will expand it as we go, hear Pranali as well.
Yes, absolutely. I was just about to say that we also want to hear from Pranali her thoughts
Yes,
on what you have just shared.
my mind is blown. I mean, like, I have never. I knew that, yes, but just one thing, it just stuck in my mind, and that's why I really love that statement you made about, the potential is should what it's like a purpose. Basically, you are meant to fulfill your purpose. So I I believe personally in this that your purpose is joy. Reasons can be different. So my take on this is this. I mean, maybe it's just a simple, but I always say this statement can be different. I'm meant to do this. I'm born to do this. But the ultimate aim out of purpose is a joy thing. So I I never thought the way Sam has opened up my mind on this. Like should what was it? That was like really mind blown. Thank you so much, Sam, on that thing.
Thank you.
Really, it was so wonderfully explained that I cannot even. I'm still processing that in my head. I'm still not able to express it fully.
This is
So
this is the power of potential, which means to say, you know, when an understanding opens up, okay? Because the word, okay, there are three words here: wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, okay? Because everything in the world, okay, operates in a divine intelligence, okay? This intelligence equals three things, okay? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which means the unfolding of potential always happens in these three realms only: knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. But understanding, because when we say knowledge, understanding, or wisdom, what is your take on that? When somebody says knowledge
Yeah. That's interesting because,
my goodness,
yeah.
or
amazing.
understanding,
Yeah, because when you said, in fact, when you said knowledge, understanding, and wisdom, and the first thought that I had was, aren't they quite similar? You know, uh,
hmm,
so like, but I thought a little more about it, and knowledge is something that you, uh, I don't know, you gather is how I have thought about it. Like you get knowledge, and then you understand something, and then that understanding turns into wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
I'm going to simplify it. Watch it
Right.
through, okay? Because everything in creation that you and I exist, Okay. And the operational format of the creator is just these three things. And that is why you call divine intelligence. And you and I have the access to that portal of divine intelligence only by these three things. And understanding these three things will actually help us unfold that potential. Ready? Knowledge, in one word. Say that with me. Knowledge is information.
Knowledge is information.
Okay?
Information.
Absolutely. Understanding is comprehension.
Understanding is
Understanding is
comprehension.
comprehension.
Beautiful. And wisdom is application.
Wow.
Wisdom is
Wisdom
application.
is application.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, to access your own intelligence to its fullest potential, these three code is very important, because this is how the law functions, because the world runs or is operated based on order. There is a divine order behind every happening. Okay, although lightning and thunder come together, lightning comes faster
And
than
thunder
sound.
comes later. True. True.
Yeah, absolutely, there is a divine
Absolutely.
order, right? And here is the key: knowledge. And people gather a lot of information sometimes, and they stop there, and they keep feeding and keep feeding and keep feeding and keep feeding. Okay, that's not full potential. That is why I say possibility is different, purpose is different. It's not what I can, it's what I should. Because what you can is possibility, what you should is purpose.
Purpose.
Okay, so one, information, knowledge. Second is understanding, which is comprehension, which means every information you receive, you move it into that space of comprehension. Because anything that is not comprehended, any information that is not processed through comprehension, cannot be applied. It does not move into application. Okay, which means to say information processed through comprehension applied as an application on a whole is intelligence in its fullest potential.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. That's so clearly and intensely described.
Thank you.
Actually, and we always talk about this consciousness and all this. You know, the way you have explained this as in detail and element wise. I loved it. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Wonderful.
And when you're using that word consciousness, these three operations happen in three different layers, even within our consciousness. I think we should have a conversation about consciousness and how its fullest potential can be operated as well. If
Wonderful.
if people are interested about it, go ahead and give a comment and or a question, and we will take it from there.
Absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely. And
Wonderful.
I just wanted to request everybody who's watching this, if you're watching this live, please write hashtag live in the comments. And if you're watching it at a later point of time, you can put your comments as per your understanding of whatever you understand in this conversation, because we'd love to hear what your thoughts are. Because we are having this chat, and we'd like to have you as part of the chat with your comments. Make sure you do that. Like,
Lovely,
yeah. So,
lovely.
And these topics are so interesting that last time when I was reading comments, there were many people when they were interacting, many things came out of that comments as well. So please do we like? I just wanted all of you to be interactive because these topics are really, like amazing topics. They
Yeah,
really brainstorm.
true.
And that is the whole purpose of this. We
Yes.
chat complex issues casually. All
Totally.
right. Now, here is this. Now that you are sharing about potential, let me share something. Okay. In the previous episode, Divya closed the episode with an example of a acorn.
Yes.
You know, how a acorn turns into a big oak tree.
True.
Okay. Now, let's get this into a different sphere altogether. Okay, which means to say there is a seed. Okay, let's keep it a mango seed.
Mm.
Okay, a mango seed has a potential to have and become a mango tree, and then it also can have millions of fruits. Okay, so I'm going to bring two things together for better understanding. One is the example of what Divya spoke, and the other that Pranali was expanded. Okay, which is like a dimension. Okay, now would you disagree if I hold a seed in my hand and I say, this mango seed has a potential and it has a massive tree in it and it has millions of fruits in it? I'm holding a seed. I'm not holding
Mm.
anything. I'm just holding a seed. Would
Mm.
you disagree if I tell you that inside the seed, this
Mm.
seed, inside
Mm.
this, there is a massive tree and there are millions of fruits?
Right.
Yes, inside the tree, inside that seed, there is a massive tree.
Right.
And there are hundreds and thousands of fruits hidden right into that seed. Now, the seed is potential,
Mm.
okay? But to make that a reality, it actually needs something. It is a seed in this dimension now. It becomes a tree in a different dimension.
Mm.
But the
Beautiful.
seed has the tree in it. But for that seed to be a tree, this cannot remain a seed,
Beautiful.
which
Right.
means for any potential to live its purpose, because the potential of the seed is to live its purpose as a tree and bear much fruits. Yes or no?
Mm. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely. All right. For any potential to live its purpose, it's a very powerful word, but let me use it. What happens when we all see it grows,
Mm.
but it actually dies? It loses itself, which means every potential that remains as potential is operating on possibility. Every potential that loses itself is realizing its purpose.
Wow, this is so powerful, Sam.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. This is so powerful also because it really made me think about, I talk a lot about how a lot of us prevent ourselves from doing things that we want to and achieving the results that we want to because we hold back thinking. And we hold back why? Because we try something once, and when we don't get the results or when things don't come out the way we expected it to come out, we give up. And the thought in the head is, I'm not talented enough, right? So this idea that, oh, you either have talent, which talent will just show up, right? Either it just shows up or you don't have it, right? Is such a killer, right? Why it's a
Absolutely.
killer is because it makes so many people give up even before they try. and also believe that those people who have fulfilled their potential in a certain area, for example, somebody who's a amazing sports person, like a cricketer or a tennis player or whatever, they are able to do that because they are supremely talented. But what you just said is that they have to let go, that seed has to die, they have to take that action and come out, and only then does that possibility turn into potential of
Purpose.
a purpose, right? you know
Yeah,
Absolutely.
potential.
and
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, and that whole process is not a one time momentary, you know a few minutes process. It's a continuous process, right? So you when you explain this, it is so beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think every person needs to hear this, really, that you can have all the possibility inside of you, and none of that is going to turn into purpose if we do nothing about it. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
thank you. Yeah.
In one of the events this week, I actually shared this. There was a question asked, uh, how do you allow a child to grow naturally? Natural growth always happens when it is not restricted,
Mm.
which means every potential has its own way to unfold itself. Okay? Every seed, every person, everyone existing here on earth have their own potential. Generally what happens is, when Divya rightly said that we try something, and when it does not happen, you go back. The word try is not into the category of potential or purpose. It falls into the category of possibility. It is, when somebody says I try, it means to say let me see if it's possible. Okay, if somebody's going to give you a call and say, would you be able to help me, I'm in a need of some 60 lakhs, and you say let me try. Okay, that word falls into the category of let me work out its possibility, let me see if I can. It's not what you can. Let me write it and rewrite it in everyone's heart listening this. It's not about what you can. It is always about what you should. It is always about what you should. Because generally what happens is there is a lot of, okay, now, explaining this would actually be very helpful for every listener. Okay. We all know that the seed turns into a tree, and bear
True.
much fruits. And which means the massive tree and the millions of fruits is trapped and hidden into that seed, the potential. Okay. Now, this seed needs an environment for it to grow.
Agree.
Okay. Which means every potential needs an environment. Imagine I love the seed and I want to see it grow, and I want to see it grow in a certain way, but I don't let it go. I hold it myself like this. This is exactly what happens to every human being in their life. It is either grandparents hold them, the society holds them, parents hold them, uncle, aunt, somebody, a friend, peer, somebody holds them, that they cannot realize their real potential. And you don't call this environment a healthy environment because it is an expression of love to be careful. Yes or no? My friend is very careful with me. He does not want me to do something which is my original purpose. My parents are very careful with me. I have a different calling, but my parents think that, this is exactly what I want to do or should do, and they hold me. Potential. Now, potential is trapped, but for this potential to realize itself, this needs an environment. My hand is not the environment for the seed to grow. Agree?
Totally.
Okay. Now, imagine this person is a very prayerful person, okay, and has access to God face to face, okay? So every
Okay.
time this person, cries out to God, God opens the heavenlies and shows up right on the face and say, "Come on, child, what are you looking for?" This kind of an experience, all right? Now, this potential is in his hands, and he cries out to God, "God, you have blessed me with a potential. And I want this potential to grow and develop itself. I want to see it bear much fruit." Do you think it will grow?
Not by
You're
telling what
crying
to
out.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, you're crying out. You're pushing everything possible. Do you think it will grow? The seed will be crying inside. Like, come on, you know, use something. Think about it. Okay? Now somebody says, it actually you need to actually be on a soil, you can't hold it in the hand. There's a sense of a realization. So, but this person is a very prayerful person. All right. So, right beside the bed, he takes it out of his hands and places it in the marble flooring. Okay. And now sits out and cry out to God and say, I understand it needs a soil, so I've left it on the marble. Please. You think it'll grow? A neighboring child comes in and say, "Hey, child," because sometimes children are wiser than us. I have an 11-year-old at home, smarter than me. Okay. Sometimes he comes up with statements that are very profound. Okay. And I have to tell you this: a little boy comes to you and says, "Auntie or uncle," or whoever he calls you to be, and says, "What are you doing with the seed here?" "No, no, no, I'm praying. We are a prayerful family and we pray. And, I'm praying that this potential, grows and becomes a tree and one day bears much fruit." Oh, come on. It needs some water. It needs some sunlight. Why are you keeping it this way? So suddenly there is another bulb on moment. Okay. Now apply this way: knowledge, information, and then comprehension. Now there is a bulb on. Okay. Comprehend. Oh, okay. Yeah. There should be some water and sunlight. So what he does is just pours a bucket of water on it, opens all his windows, okay, so that the sunlight can, fall right on the seed, and he positions it, and he still continues to pray, "God, let that seed grow." Do you think it'll grow? Okay, which means potential or the growth of potential is always not another man's choice. A growth or a potential, or realizing the potential is not in another man's opinion. This is something very important, very powerful. Okay. And one day God shows up and he says, "Child, I've given you all intelligence. And there is a divine order for anything to happen in your life. You have a seed that has great potential to give you much fruit. But why are you holding it? Why are you left it there? Or why are you pouring water and waiting for sunlight every day in the morning? This is not how I've designed for this potential to grow. This potential needs to be in the soil,
Absolutely.
right? That's the divine order, which means you need to be in a healthy environment of growth. That's what it means. And it's a choice. As parents, as children, as you and me who fight through different things in life, we just need to pay attention to that one single detail. Am I in the right environment that suits my potential to manifest itself? Not try, because the trying is this category. Pouring water on the seed, oh, it's not growing. And then you wait for sunlight and say, no, it's not growing. No, no, no. You're trying your possibility. Allow it, it'll grow. You find the right environment for that seed and you drop that seed in that soil, give it water, give it sunlight. Do you think you need to pray for it to grow? Not really. You can be grateful. This is the power of prayer. The power of prayer is in giving thanks.
Giving thanks. Absolutely.
Asking is not prayer, giving thanks is prayer.
True.
Truly said,
Okay?
yeah.
So, all right. So now let me hold on this. Okay. Now this seed goes into a soil. Now, some people want to have a little bonsai on their table, which means they want to see that potential grow only in their eye, right in front of their face, on their table only. They don't want it to bear much fruit, but they want to be very protective and, like it and talk to it, pour some little drops of water and, allow it and very protective. Okay. Which means they do not allow it to realize its fullest potential. They allow a certain environment for it to grow. But a certain environment is not the right environment to experience its fullest potential. Yes or no?
True.
All that you need to do is find a very well nurtured soil. You sow that potential. In India, it will be a mango seed. In Canada, it will be a mango seed. In any part of the world, the potential will only manifest itself, which means just because it is Canada, a mango seed will not produce apples, right? Because it's not trying to do what it can. It'll never say, I am a mango seed, but let me try if I can produce. No, apples. No, it never happened that way, right? It will only produce mangoes.
True.
Agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Wonderful. Now, let me just expand the dimensions of its reality. Okay, and then you could share your thoughts. If there is any thought popping up, pin it down. Okay, now here is the key. The seed now goes under the soil. Okay, the seed is potential, it is right there, but it cannot realize itself unless and until it loses itself, which means if it remains as a seed, even in the right environment, the potential is still. Okay, it just cannot. So it has to break itself, break open itself. It all that environment, the pressure, that seed will really not know its possibility. The seed really does not know its potential. The seed really does not know it carries a tree in it and much fruits in it. The seed really does not know. Yeah, that is the mystery of every potential. The mystery of every potential is you don't know what you really can. You really don't know what you really should unless and until you find that right environment. And in that right environment, that seed will open up itself. And one little flimsy thing will pop out called the sprout. And some ugly little roots will come out. And that will not look good. Okay, you're like, now that seed will look at it and say, oh man, because the seed looks very beautiful. And now it will look at it and say, oh no, this is not what I was expecting. I am losing my beauty. Is this real potential? You know, knowledge. Gather that information. When changes happen, understand, comprehend what's going on. Now that seed is now sprouting out. It's using all its strength because the environment is breaking it open. And it's using all its strength to sprout out. It's very thin, flimsy stuff. You hit it like this, it'll break and fall. But it's using all its strength. Okay? Now, here is the key. When you want to apply and move from what you can to what you should, the first thing is you should be willing for your potential, for itself to unfold and allow you to become what your real potential is. Sometimes it may not be somebody else, it could be even our own mind that will hold us.
Absolutely.
And this
Yeah, that,
mind is a collective consciousness of so many people's words that we have heard, some great advice. Do you think you can? You know what your background is, right? You can't, sometimes father says, you will do whatever you want to do, but do you think I can afford it? Now, all these things bother the person right inside. What will the world think? What will he think? What will she think? A mango seed is a mango seed, whatever you think. If you want to call a mango seed, no, 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 no. Apples are very beautiful. They are red. So you hold a mango seed and you call it, no, 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 you are an apple seed. You are an apple seed. Affirmation. You are an apple seed and you are an apple seed and you are an apple seed and you are. Excuse me. You are not an apple seed. You can call it an apple seed, but when it grows and manifests itself, be ready to call a mango fruit an apple. That's why I say potential is very powerful, very, very powerful. Okay. So now it opens itself and it begins to pop out and grow, right? It is actually using its own strength to grow. The seed is using all its energy, which means whatever your hand finds to do it with all your might. Whatever, it can be anything, but do it with all your strength, because your potential can unfold itself only when you give it your full strength, not that some strength that you think you can.
wow.
And this is the law. Whatever your potential is, for it to grow, do it with all your might. It can be losing your original shape, original identity. Now that seed is no more called an seed anymore. It's not a seed anymore. I look so beautiful and pretty, and now I'm turning into something and I'm losing my identity. Nobody calls me a seed. That word SEED was so cute and small. No, 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 no. Now they call me something, a little sapling, and they call me a root. They call me a sprout. I don't like that name. It's okay. It's okay because you're operating at your fullest strength. So what if somebody calls you anything? Because they don't know you're becoming something to be what your purpose is, what you're called to be, what you are born to live, what your original existence is. And that is where the power of living your existence to its excellence is there. Because you're putting all your strength to boom. Now, before I share the next, share me your thoughts. And meanwhile, let me
Wow.
drink some water.
Absolutely. That
Yes,
is
yes,
so amazing. Let's hear from Pranali. Pranali, do share your thoughts around this.
yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, I could relate, what happens actually whenever you hear such kind of discussions, entirely different perspective from whatever you are into. Like I am into this reality creation coach, and so the thought of this, um, when Sam was sharing this thing, seed has to change, transform, right? He has to lose his earlier identity, and same things goes with in our daily lives. If we could actually think of like that, so two things I got, just they were just like playing with my mind. In Neville Goddard's thing, he always talks about this: the old man must die. Why? There's this self-talk goes around, about your old identity, like the current identity of yourself. It keeps on going on. You observe the reality. It keeps on going on. You must, that old man has to die. And when you create a new set of self-talks or something like that, that is what you're transforming. And same, if you remember, Divya, in last time session, I've shared this book called "Stop the Habit of Stop Being Yourself" by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's the same thing. So these two things have popped up in my mind when Sam was sharing about how seed has to lose his identity in order to become something. And why? Because on a bigger perspective, if I could see, we cannot serve two masters. You know, it's like you have to, for entering into the new mental state, you have to die to the earlier state. Whoso whatever your identity currently you're holding, if you want to become a better or the highest version of yourself, you have to die with the existing patterns of yourself.
Hmm.
You have to completely give up exactly whatever you have said. Like uh, just there will be a time which will come. No, I don't want to think anything negative now. I just want to go on full on do it, and I'll just do it. So that was my take on that. Okay, I don't know, somehow these two things have popped up and I have just shared it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful, Pranali. Yeah. And yeah, to there's so many bulbons, Sam. So a couple of things that I'd like to share is in relation to what Pranali said. I think what happens, I've seen, it's happened to me, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people as well, is where this idea of being authentic is almost in conflict with changing your identity, right? Like, I want to be authentic. I want to be myself. I don't want to be something I am not. But
That's such a
but the
lie,
results that
okay?
yes, yes, because the results that you want are different from what you've been getting, right? So,
Yeah,
so one of the lines I keep saying, it is not only for the other person, I keep saying for myself as well, that if I want results I've never had, then I've got to do things I've never done, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, so this what you said was so powerful that you've got to die, like, and I think just putting it out like that makes it easy. Like, just knowing that, hey, it's okay to let your earlier identity die, right?
Die.
But
Okay, let that old man go. Yes.
so that is
now,
one. And yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
go
Sorry.
on.
Go
No,
go
you're
ahead,
saying
go ahead,
something.
please.
Go on. Finish
The
it. It's
second
nice.
thing, the second thing that really stood out for me was when you spoke about doing something with all your might. I think this is also one place where a lot of us hold back because we want to try, and we're like, okay, I'll try, I'll do these things, and I'll do a little bit here and a little bit there, and why am I not getting the results? Basically, we're playing it safe, right? We'll do, and if nothing works, I'll go back to my original place. So we don't want to let go of what existed. And then when we're doing a little, we're not doing it wholeheartedly, we're not doing everything that we could possibly do, and we're not getting results, we're also getting disappointed and dejected and saying that, hey, this is not
Absolutely.
working, right? while
Absolutely.
while what I've also seen in people, the other category of people is where this is not working, or something is not right in what I'm trying, I need to try more. Okay, so let me try this also, that also, that also, this also. Let me try 10 things, till it works. And that, I think, brings us to faith, having the faith in the potential. Because somewhere, most of us haven't learned that. What we have learned growing up is about questioning ourselves, about questioning our capability, whether we have it. It's about either you have it or you don't have it, kind of thing. But these were
Right.
two of my biggest takeaways, Dr. Sam. I mean, it's
Amazing.
been amazing listening to you and to the thoughts that Pranali has been sharing. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. You were
Now,
saying something.
when you were saying,
Wonderful, Divya.
when you were trying this and trying that and trying this and trying that, there is something I need to drop in just here. Is this in the process of this man trying to make the seed grow? If he would have tried roasting it, cooking it, boiling it, hurting it, the seed has the potential to grow. But even if you give it the right environment to grow at a later part,
Mm,
it cannot grow.
mm,
This is something that I teach in all of my intense programs, is first understanding that potential. You don't have to try too many things. You don't need to fry it and then roast it and then cook it and then say it's still a seed. It's still a seed. And suddenly you have a realization one day and says, no, never do that. Never do that. Don't, it's like going to and fro and to and fro. No, 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 no. You just need to find the right environment and just put it in. And because, at the end, I will share a very powerful concept and I will leave the thought so that, we will take it forward, because now I just need to open up the space of this dimension. Okay, now watch this. That seed is a seed in one dimension. When that seed moves to another dimension called the soil, it becomes something else. It becomes, or it begins to realize its potential. It opens up itself, right? It allows that root to come out and allows that sprout to come out. But that's not the end there, because every potential can perform only to a certain extent in each dimension. Understanding dimensions is important, and understanding your operations within that dimension is much more important, because you cannot operate, okay, in all your potential within all dimensions. The seed is in its fullest form in this dimension. You take that seed and put it into the soil. It now begins to, it says, it's not me anymore, but the divine in me, that growth in me, that potential in me. And now it begins to show up something. So say this with me, it's not me anymore,
it's not me
It's
anymore.
not me anymore.
but God in me.
God in me.
Beautiful. Mm,
Because the word potential is only one thing. Potential means divine, period.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Potential means God,
Absolutely.
full stop. There is no more explanation in it. No more.
Wow.
Agree.
Which means to
Yeah.
say, every potential as God manifests itself through itself.
Wow. Yeah. Sam,
Okay?
we have like a
Hmm.
couple of minutes to conclude this session. And I was wondering whether we'd be able to do that and continue in the next session.
Wonderful. So let me put it this way. Okay? Now, in conclusion, very, very important. You are a potential. and every potential is unique. Have this knowledge, which is information, understanding, which is comprehension, and wisdom, which is application. When all these three things come together, is when a potential is realized. Okay. And this is why the law says that the divine is wisdom and power, or it's power, as in like knowledge and power is like information in its application. And this comes together as one full intelligent being. And we will continue our conversation about dimensions in the next chat. Okay. But as of now, remember that you are a potential, you are unique. Find an environment that will make you grow and progress. Find a teacher, find a mentor, find somebody that will create an environment for you to realize the real you.
Wow.
Yes, it's such a joy to be with you and chat with you today. Lots of
Same
love to
here,
you.
same here.
Thank you. Thank you. I just want to make sure that this conversation, kind of stays and people are able to pay attention to the part that you have shared so beautifully with us. And we can then take it on as another session where you can tell us the next part of this. And that's so exciting.
It's such a joy to be with each one of you. Don't forget to ask your questions and comment, okay, because we
Absolutely.
love to hear. And here is the key, because the concepts shared here are complex, but they're shared very casually. So when you don't understand something, it is okay. Give it some time, try to grasp it, because what you're taking in is could be just in a form of information, but that needs to convert into comprehension, because that is where the power lies.
True.
Most of the times we live with a lot of information and do nothing about it, and that potential dies. Okay, so loads of love to you, and it's fantastic to be with you, Pranali and Divya. See you next week.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sam. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
thank
much.
you, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Lots of love to you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.